What is up, everybody? We are getting right back into reactor blocks and continuing our journey exploring the many flavors of oscillators contained in the TOYBOX NANO PACK library. Simply click into the reactor blocks interface, hit the enter key on your keyboard, and just start typing in nano oscillator, and you will see the multitude of options that we have in this library. Last time we explored the raw oscillator and one shot. Today we're going to explore the nano SINE bank oscillator. There's also a high quality version of this as well, which we'll spend an entire video on. So we'll just do this one for today, and we'll be able to also maybe leave it in next time and have that for comparison's sake to see what it does. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab those two blocks, hit the delete key on my keyboard, and then I'm going to go ahead and patch in the pitch cable for the SINE bank oscillator. And we don't really need a mixer at this stage. You know, it is already patched in and everything. We might just... No, we don't need it. So I'm going to lose this mixer as well. It's just going to make things confusing for me anyway. So I'll just patch everything together. So I'm going to come out of the pitch is already pulled in here. So now it's already controlled by my keyboard, right? All that good to go. What we need to do is bring the audio signal out of here and into the filter, but not yet, not directly into the filter, because again, we, have a VCA controlling the actual amplitude, the actual volume of that signal over time. So the VCA is being controlled here by these blue cables you can see, by the envelope bone, which is controlled by this gate signal coming out of the same MIDI in block. And now we can see there's some movement. And so we can see, I've got the scope patched in now. You can see what this isn't a sine wave. This says SINE bank. No, but I'm just kidding. This is a really cool sounding, sort of triangle wave sound, at least. But I can't really describe what that scope looks like because there's constant movement in there. So that waveform is actually just, it's unique. It's all its own. And so let's look at the description behind this SINE bank oscillator. An additive synthesis-based oscillator with 128 partials. Don't know what a partial is. Maybe you guys can drop me a comment. Let me know what a partial is. I'll do some research as well. I'll try to find that out. 128 partials. The nano SINE bank oscillator block is similar to the nano additive oscillator, which I really enjoyed as well. The block, except it has more partials, 128 versus 36, and doesn't have the resynthesis option. Okay, so I'm going to bet that these controls that spread out the partials are going to give us some wild sounds. So let's test that theory. So now, yes, we're just into a straight sine wave. I'm slowly bringing in that spread control. Spreads the partials. That's a cool, just like an engine starting up sort of sound. For you sound design guys out there, I like how it starts like it's like a heartbeat. The unison control simulates the sound of several detuned oscillators playing in unison. I love this. This is achieved by faking the effect using an additive engine rather than actually using several oscillators. So this is still just one oscillator, but it takes, like, to me, it sounds like it's almost copying the waveform or taking parts of it and detuning parts of it. It sounds amazing. get some awesome phasing effects in that. All right, so let's pull that down. And the shift control shifts the partials evenly up and down, okay? It's cool. Sometimes you can get the partials sounding like it's almost harmonically, you know, like so that's what note am I playing here? This is a 1 second. Like a D sharp. At any rate, when I spend a bit more time with music theory, I'll, you know, have that kind of information, that knowledge a little more close at hand. I reference my notes on guitar all the time because that's the instrument I'm most familiar with, and I really do have to think, what note is this on the keyboard oftentimes. So at any rate, this control is also just giving some amazing sounds. So, what I'm gonna do now is, yeah, so there is a wave, there literally is a wave shape. And so it looks like, to me, it's like a sine, which goes into a square. But again, look at that scope. That's not a square wave, that's something else. You know what I mean? So that's the cool thing about hooking up these scopes, is you can actually get a good visual comparison about what these things are doing. If we blend in the original oscillator, nice. We got a little nice sine with a tiny little bit of teeth added to it there. It gives it a little nice low end. And now if we start shaking this a bit into the triangle, you know, shape, so to speak, that, you know, morph smoothly between 5 waveforms: sine, square, saw, pulse, and random. Drag the entire center of the display to morph between the 5 waveforms. Right. So, you know, when you start to get in a triangle, that's not a triangle, right? That's something else. And same with the pulse. And that's, you know, we hear a nice little underbelly to it because I've turned up this additional oscillator. If I turn that down, you can hear this is just a highly affected, highly sort of, there's a lot of movement to this particular oscillator. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So if we give it a little standard sort of low pass filtering, or band pass. So if we started to automate, say, some of these controls, this is what it would sound like. And so the possibilities are endless, absolutely endless. And yeah, the SINE bank oscillator, additive synthesis, you know, the highlights here. There's lots of ways to control the partials. Even if I don't fully understand what that means, the way I'm sort of, I guess, you know, hearing it or putting it together in my own monkey brain is that partials are parts of the waveform. It's not all of it, but it's parts of it. And you have control over parts of it in these controls here, where you can make it literally sound like several detuned oscillators are playing at once, or you can spread partials out from one another to create some really interesting FM synthesis, additive synthesis like effects, as well as some awesome, you know, sort of phasing effects and different options. So really, really cool stuff. And the journey continues. Until next time.